Right now at 6, a new leader seeks to calm a school district and a community in turmoil.
The district has significant work ahead to repair relationships and rebuild trust.
Also ahead, the search for answers in Wilsonville after authorities find 2 men dead.
It is unimaginable that this is even happening in this neighborhood.
Then, Governor Kotek's big ask from lawmakers, why she's calling them back to Salem before the holidays. Plus,
I don't carry a pet.
He is not a pet, he is a service animal.
a KGW investigation into rideshare drivers caught stranding some passengers at the curb and breaking the law. Good evening. We want to get right to breaking news in St. Helens, where we have just learned the principal of St. Helens High, Katie Wagner, who is currently on leave, has been charged with 6 crimes in connection with the growing sex abuse scandal in that school district. This comes just hours after the new acting superintendent appointed by the board last night pledged to restore trust with families and the community. Devin Haskins is live in St. Helens. Devin, you've been reviewing the new indictment. Walk us through the charges.
Yeah. Well, David, earlier this morning, there was a grand jury hearing, and we're learning about those new charges against Katie Wagner, the principal at St. Helens High School. She's facing 2 felonies and 4 misdemeanors. Those charges are as following: 2 counts of criminal mistreatment in the first degree. The court documents say she withheld necessary care for students at St. Helens High School, while Eric Stearns, a choir teacher, and Mark Collins, a retired math teacher, were teaching at the school. Both teachers are currently charged with several counts of sexual abuse of a minor. Those are felony charges the principal now faces. She's also facing 2 counts of official misconduct in the first degree for failing to uphold her duties as a mandatory reporter when allegations of abuse were reported by students over the last several years, as well as 2 counts of official misconduct in the second degree. Those official misconduct charges are misdemeanors. Now, this comes hours after the new acting superintendent was introduced. Steve Webb. You may recognize him if you're from the Vancouver area. He used to be the superintendent in that district, retiring in 2021, now taking over the top job at the St. Helens School District. Today, he read a brief statement, prepared statement addressing the community in the wake of the sex abuse charges against 2 educators earlier this month. Dr. Steve Webb did not take any questions following the statement. He says the district will launch an external investigation into the district's policies around mandatory reporting, as well as training processes and the culture within the district. He also said a new acting high school principal will be appointed as soon as possible after Principal Katie Wagner was placed on leave and now learning of new charges. Parents in the district welcomed the news and said change needed to happen. They hope the acting superintendent will now be more transparent.
They failed a lot of children. A lot of children are scared, but fortunately we had a lot of strong children that came out and told their story and finally got heard. And I think it's absolutely, things need to change.
So Webb says the investigation will start Monday and says once the investigation is complete, he will share those findings with the public. He says that investigation should last the next month and a half to 2 months, depending on how long it takes. David, back to you.
All right, the breaking news here, though: 2 felony counts, 4 misdemeanor charges against Katie Wagner, the principal of St. Helens High, now currently on administrative leave. Thanks, Devin. Appreciate the update there. In your headlines, Governor Tina Kotek has called a special legislative session next month to approve emergency funding to cover the cost of fighting wildfires. The record season burned nearly 2 million acres statewide, racking up more than $350 million in bills for the Department of Forestry and the state fire marshal. Much of that will eventually be reimbursed by the federal government, but Kotek is asking lawmakers to find $218 million so the agencies can pay their bills as soon as possible. The special session begins on December 12th. New Seasons Market says all Portland metro area stores will be open tomorrow, even as union workers at 11 locations go on a 1-day strike. Meanwhile, the union is asking shoppers to boycott the chain and support their walkout. Members say they haven't heard anything in negotiations that they believe will help them earn a living wage. In a statement, New Seasons Management says the average worker earns $20.75 per hour for non-management positions and that the company supports its staff right to protest. And ahead of the holiday travel rush, agencies from around the Portland Metro have teamed up to step up enforcement on our roads. Over the weekend, Portland Police, Oregon State Police, and deputies from the 3 metro counties conducted more than 1,300 traffic stops for speeding, impaired, and distracted driving. 62 of those drivers were arrested and nearly 900 received citations. Authorities say they also towed more than 40 vehicles and recovered 2 illegal guns. Matt?
All right, David, thanks very much. Up in the Cascades, we're going to see increasing amounts of sunshine. Already had sun up there today, while the valleys, well, you know, it was gray pretty much all day long. But up at Timberline, it's clearing out, 24 degrees. We'll keep the cool conditions there. Look at the satellite imagery. You can see where the clearing was downstream of the North Cascades here. Lots of clouds on the west side, clouds scattered across the rest of central and eastern Oregon. You will be clearing out. We will be clearing out, except in the lowest elevations, where the fog and the low clouds are going to be stuck for a couple of days. Now, we've got our secret weapon that'll come to the rescue over the weekend and clear it out, but that's a few days out, right? Nationally, a lot of people traveling, of course. There's rain and mountain snow across California, central and southern California, up into the Rockies, Salt Lake and Denver seeing snow, and then back east. They're going to see a lot of cold air over the next several days as they finally break their warm weather they've had for much of the fall. The only delays we're seeing right now are down in Phoenix. They're fairly minor, about 30 to 60 minutes there. We'll keep you posted on the airport delays over the next few days. So valley, fog, and clouds. It's going to be gray through Black Friday. Clear and mild, though, up in the Cascades and up the coast. So we'll look for those east winds to rescue us from the gray over the weekend, David.
Can't ask for more than that. Thank you, Matt. To a brand new KGW investigation this evening into rideshare services Uber and Lyft, with people who are legally blind saying they're being left at the curb as soon as some drivers see their guide dogs. Investigator Kyle Calaboshi is here with a look at the illegal practice. So Kyle, what'd you find?
Well, Uber and Lyft know this is a problem nationwide. They've been sued over it. And according to NBC News, the rideshare companies are under investigation by the Department of Justice. But as we found, this discrimination is still happening, leaving passengers who are disabled humiliated and stranded with no ride.
Life comes one step at a time for Erica Daniels. She's legally blind and relies on her guide dog, Win, to help navigate obstacles.
Good boy, Win.
And lead her way.
You know, we'll be trying to find the door to somewhere. He finds the door to the entrance to places instead of me hitting the windows and the doors, the sides of buildings trying to find the door. He just takes me right to the door.
To get to and from work and around town, the Fairview woman uses ride shares like Uber or Lyft.
Please make sure you're ready for pickup outside.
But those rides are sometimes rejected after rideshare drivers spot her guide dog.
I don't carry a pet.
He is not a pet. He is a service animal. It's against the law. Okay, I'll let him know. I'll let Uber know.
Erica captured these interactions with Uber drivers on her cell phone.
Yeah, I have a guide dog. Yeah, my service animal. What's that? Yeah, you can. If it's a service animal, you have to take them.
Erica says the drivers often come up with excuses like they don't want to mess up their car. One driver said he had a deadly dog allergy.
It would kill him, I guess.
Erica usually just gives up and then has to wait for another ride.
I've had times when I had 2 drivers back-to-back refuse us.
The federal civil rights law, the Americans with Disabilities Act, and Oregon state law prohibit rideshare drivers from discriminating based on disability. Both Uber and Lyft have policies requiring the accommodation of service animals.
Lyft's policy and the law require all drivers to accept service animals regardless of allergies, fear, religious, or cultural objection.
Despite these policies, we found multiple people who say discrimination continues to happen.
The humiliation of begging for the privilege of giving him your money, begging for the right to get in the car and get where you know, it was humiliating.
Patricia Kepler of Aloha says she and her guide dog Gus have had ride after ride canceled.
One day, it took 4 rides. I had 3 cancellations before the 4th ride finally showed up.
And Sharon Zinger of Gresham says she too has been turned away by rideshare drivers refusing to take her guide dog Reagan.
I've been hanging on to the handle of a car before with a driver yelling, no dog, and driving off with my hand on the handle.
Sharon admits the stress of being rejected by Uber or Lyft drivers repeatedly can be overwhelming.
But it does take an emotional toll on you. It makes you feel like you're less of a human. It makes me feel like I don't have the same rights as everyone else.
In response to our questions, a Lyft spokesperson wrote, "Discrimination has no place in the Lyft community." And Uber said, "We urge any rider who experiences a service denial to report it to us, so we can take appropriate action, which may include permanent deactivation of a driver's account." In 2016 and 2017, Uber and Lyft reached settlements after being sued by the National Federation of the Blind. As a result, Uber and Lyft say they've made their service animal policies clear, worked to educate drivers, and made it easier to file complaints. But Erica argues it clearly isn't working. Too many times, she's waiting at the curb with Win when an Uber or Lyft driver rejects her,
They'll pull up and they'll, no dog, no dog.
leaving them stranded with no ride.
This fall, both Uber and Lyft created new opt-in features where riders can edit their profile to alert drivers they have a service animal and avoid confusion at pickup. But the National Federation of the Blind argues that only works after a rider and driver are paired. Otherwise, drivers will just cancel once they realize the person has a guide dog, resulting in longer wait times and continued discrimination.
Yeah, sounds like there is a long way to go here. Kyle, appreciate your reporting on this. Developing right now in Wilsonville, people living in the Villebois neighborhood are stunned after 2 men were found dead inside a home. Let's get to Daisy Caballero live in Wilsonville with an update just in from investigators. Daisy, what are you learning?
Yeah, David, just moments ago, the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office did confirm that the 2 men that died inside the home were father and son. They were found dead, like we said, have been telling you all this evening. Now, deputies say 59-year-old Stephen Wilson and 34-year-old Ren Wilson got into a fight and they both shot and killed the other. This happened at the corner of Southwest Charlotte and Barber Street at around 3:30 yesterday afternoon. I spoke with several neighbors. None of them heard the gunshots, but said that they were shocked to hear what had happened in this quiet and family-friendly neighborhood.
This is so unusual for this neighborhood. This is such a quiet, peaceful place.
Shocked.
Shocked.
We never, in 9.5 years, had any break-ins or we had any theft of any kind from a store or anywhere.
And David, I will tell you that speaking with several neighbors, I would say 10 to 15 people here in the area, they had speculations that these were the 2 individuals that they were expecting for the news to come out. And unfortunately, this is the information that the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office has confirmed. Now, back out here live, they do also tell us that this is an ongoing investigation. We'll, of course, stay on the story and bring you more information as that comes available. Back to you.
A father and son dead in Wilsonville, with authorities saying it appears they shot each other. Daisy Caballero, appreciate the update there.